I was asked to give a little bibliography of myself, just to kind of give our patients a little more personal idea of where I am from, what I've done in the past. And so I'll start with basically, I was raised on a dairy farm. Back in 1966, I graduated from high school from Florence, Kansas. And we was raised on a dairy farm, milking about 200 head of cows. And so on the farm, you do all kinds of things. You lift, you haul hay, you run horses. And then one time, I was working with my father, and I was going up a hill on the back of a horse. And I went up under a tree, and it squashed me down between the saddle and the tree. And that messed up my neck, caused me a lot of problems. I had started getting vision issues. I started having tics and tremors. I started having grunting in the throat. Lots of things like this. And so didn't know what to do with it. My parents didn't really know where to go, but someone finally suggested a chiropractic physician because we've tried medical approaches and that didn't seem to help. So starting in chiropractic care, things started getting better. And as they got better, I began to get kind of excited about this because, I mean, when you're having all of this pain in the neck and jerking around and your vision goes bad, it doesn't work so well. So as I started getting better and better, all these things began to leave. And as they left, it was because of chiropractic adjustments. So as a kid in grade school, I decided, this is pretty cool because I was 7 years old when this happened. And so now in grade school, I thought, this is really cool stuff. And so in the back of my mind, for some reason, I just kept that back there. And I developed an interest in it. And all the way through grade school, high school, it was just kind of an exciting thing for me. So I continued to think about that. And so when I looked at a career, I kind of basically knew where I wanted to go. So I had my career set out for me when I was 7 years old. So after I graduated from high school, I went on to college. I went to St. Louis, and when I got there, I graduated with a Doctor of Chiropractic degree and a Bachelor of Science degree. And so at this point, now I began to start in practice, and I started practice in 1973, and I began to do what I was taught. And in chiropractic practice, you have a variety of things you get to treat. And so I started out and I started practicing, and I got to treating all kinds of things. And it was, again, it's exciting to me because of all the things that I was able to do for other people. So I did that, and as I continued to practice, then they started bringing me these little babies. And it's like, what do I do with these? Well, they taught us in chiropractic college that if you spinal manipulate these babies, it's supposed to take the colic away, but I really couldn't get that to be very effective. So what I did was I just began to look and research and trying to figure out a way. I knew chiropractic had a way to help these babies, but I didn't know we could do it so well. So as I continued to research, I kept looking for new ways. I'd treat adults, then I'd come back and treat the babies, come back to adults and babies, until finally things began to come together. And as they did, I began to be able to predict what was going to happen. And on adults, it was the same way. It got to where it was really quite exciting to take patients in a lot of severe pain and have them begin to leave without that pain. And it got to where it was the same thing with the babies. They began to come in crying and crying. Mothers were crying, fathers were crying. It was a pretty serious situation. So I kept working with it, and I just developed an interest in it, and I just researched until I found a way that I could pretty well predict how to take care of these babies. And so I have been practicing chiropractic for 50 years, but I've been doing babies approximately 40 years. So as I worked through this, I didn't feel like I could tell the parents that I was going to fix it, so I actually treated these babies free for 30 years. After that, I got to where it was predictable. And I've been doing that now for a long time. And we're in the practice now. We see all kinds of patients. We see adult patients. We see children. We see parents. We see grandparents for all sorts of different things. We use acupuncture, spinal manipulation, physiotherapy. We do blood work here. We do x-rays work. We do nutritional stuff. It's just a holistic care. It's a doctor's office, okay? And as we take these things, it's exciting to me. I've never gotten bored. I've never gotten tired of this. In fact, I'm probably more passionate about it now than I have ever been before. But now I'm getting babies from all over the United States, Canada. I've had them from South Africa. I've had them from Mexico. I've had people calling me from all over the world, the United Kingdom. It's just interesting the number of patients that are having these serious type problems. So I just got a map and I started putting pins in where these people come from. Now I got one here in the office and it's just covered. The United States is covered. There's very few states that I haven't got patients from, especially just the babies themselves. So as we treated these babies, now they've gotten to where it is predictable. And it takes approximately 10 visits for an average infant. And the patient gets better immediately on the first visit. And so then after the first visit, we're continually working on them. And the problem with colic is it's a weakness to the ileocecal valve, which is a little valve in the lower abdomen. And I didn't find that spinal manipulation worked for me. Maybe some doctors do, and it works. But that just didn't seem to work for me. So we created a new technique, and I've been doing this for a long time, and it's just really very, very predictable, and it takes a very short period of time to get that baby well. So I come to work every day. I see an average of about 20 colicky babies a day. We're now seeing 2 to 3 brand new babies every day. It's just been phenomenal how this thing has changed. I got a call this morning from Idaho. A new baby's coming this week from Idaho. I got a set of twins coming from Colorado. There is no too far to go to treat that baby if your baby is having this kind of problem. So we found out that colic doesn't necessarily go away. And so unless it's treated, it just changes. It moves to another type of illness. So it'll go from colic to constipation to irritable bowel, Crohn's to the colitis, and eventually people end up as they get older with colon cancer. And we're trying to connect all of this together, but we know that if we can prevent, it's a lot easier than trying to cure or fix. So if we can stop this process in early stages, it is so much better than trying to fix them when they get older. We really appreciate all the referrals that everybody has given us already from all over the country. And we want to try to communicate with as much as possible anyone that's interested. So if you do have questions, don't hesitate. Call the office and we'll see what we can do for you.